On his haunt. James was down here today having a look, and there's another Chitwa vehicle that's here with us as well. They're parked on the other side in a very precarious position. So we're going to let, oh sorry, it's not another Chitwa vehicle, it's a different lodge, similar color. Needed to have another look. So we're just going to come around the side here, and I'm going to try and park as best as we can without interfering too much. It might just take me a minute or two. And I'm thinking, can you see him, Dobby? Yeah, I think he's just in this little crooks here. Guys, I'm just going to stop here. Oh, there he is. He's moving behind us. He's coming to our 3 o'clock. And como shenaniam fo. Thank you very much. Here he's coming out. Let's go and see who it is. Well, this is very exciting. We have our trifecta of leopards. All right, so the leopard's going to come out just here. I just got the cutest little woohoo from Kirst in my ear. And let's come around a little bit. Well, our assumption was good. Our gut feeling was good. And with the work of a few other people, we have our leopard. Now, the sun's at a little bit of an awkward angle. I'm going to do my best as we come around the corner here, and I can see our little leopard friend. Must I go farther in, Dobby? There we go. It looks like Hosana to me. Yay! Well, this is good. Tundi and Cub and Hosana all in one drive. Watch, 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 watch. What's he going for? What's he going for? Really behind the tree, Hosana? I swear he's chasing after squirrels again. I can see him just barely through the branches there. Maybe down a little bit. Could have been Franklin's. Could have been a little squirrel. There. I bet it was a little squirrel because he's moving away again. We're going to sneak under this tree as best as we can. Actually going to disappear. Ooh, maybe not. Hello, my boy. He's going to come down. He likes this drainage line. He's going to come down to the drainage line. Sometimes he goes all the way across, and sometimes he comes in. I just want to move a little bit for the guests that are behind me so that they can come through as well and have a look-see, because they were so nice to share this sighting with us. So we're just going to come around the corner like this. And it looks... I know what we're going to do. It looks as if he's gone into the drainage line, so we're going to go around to the other side where I know we can access from there and see if we can pick him up again. And I'm pretty sure that means the other guides are probably going to go around to the other road, but we'll have to wait and see what they do. Oh, sorry, Dobby. As I fling Dobby off the back of the vehicle. We found him again. Yay! We've got a couple other vehicles that are joining us to come and say hello. He went into the drainage line and then he popped out just here on the back side of the dam wall. Now, to our, I want to say 9 o'clock, maybe 8 o'clock, there's a huge amount of impala. So I have a feeling, it's far, it's on the other side of the dam, but I have a feeling what he's going to do is he's going to rest up in the shade here. And then when it's time, he'll move on. There we go. So there they are over just right in front of Chitwa Lodge. And so that's a good, they're coming down to drink. So it's a good place for him to be and to wait for the sun go down. All right. So we have some of the other guides that are around us because we're in a small little spot to be able to view. You are going to hear some of them talking, and they're just chatting to their guests the same way that I'm chatting to you. And you can see Hosana is not perturbed at all. A young male leopard. And I want to say Prince of Djuma, but he's being the Prince of Chitwa at the moment. Sinak, you're curious to know if leopards hunt francolins and squirrels. Most definitely. Earlier when we had Hosana, he started crouching down and running a little bit. I definitely think he's going after a squirrel. He did it to us again yesterday, and then we've been in just pretty much the same spot, and he's been hunting squirrel in the bushes here. So yes, he does like to do that, and they will go for francolin, and they're quite fastidious. They pick all the feathers out before they eat a francolin or a guinea fowl. They really like guinea fowls, and then they'll start eating that meat. They'll also eat scorpions and mice, and I believe Hosana, when he was tiny, just after Karula had passed on, he was eating terrapins to survive, which was super interesting for me. I'd never seen a leopard do that before. Not that I saw him, but I've had all of you tell me all about that. I do know of a young male leopard like himself who used to go fishing for fish when he was about this age, about 2 years old, getting all the way in the mud and the water to pull out catfish and barbel. I've also seen leopards hunting rock dassies. Dassies are not something that we see often here, or at all here. I don't think we have very many rocky outcrops for them, but if we were to have them, they would hunt them. A rock dassie is very similar to a guinea pig. He really is a stunning boy. Now, he keeps doing this where it looks like he's going to start sort of stalking a little bit, and he's just sort of lazing himself around and then lying down in a different spot on the cool soil there. Nothing's really that cool at the moment, but cooler than where we're sitting, that's for sure. Busy grooming himself, very similar to how birds preen. Everyone, don't forget we are coming to you live from the South African bush in Sabi Sands. We're on Chitwa at the moment, but in the Djuma and Chitwa area. And you can send through those questions, hashtag Safari Live on Twitter or on YouTube chat. And we love hearing the questions. We also love comments. And it can be about Hosana and the sighting that we're having right now, but it could be about anything else related to the bush out here and what we're doing. I'm actually sitting across at the moment from a guide that myself and Steve trained a few years ago, so it's nice to see him out and about and doing his thing with his guests. It's a proud moment. Tisha, I'm actually not quite sure. So, Tisha, you're asking who named them the royal family? How did they get these royal names? Was it just us, or does it come from the lineage? Tisha, I've only been with Safari Live for about 3 months. Scotty D has been with Safari Live on and off for about 3 years, and I actually think he would probably be a better person to answer that question. If I had to hazard a guess, I would say it has a lot to do with Karula, who's no longer with us, who has been around this area for a very long time. When Tristan and I first met, Tristan, for those of you that don't know, Tristan's another presenter here. When Tristan and I first met about 7 years ago, Karula was one of the females we used to see around this area, and then, as you all know, she's had quite the lineage of offspring, and she's done very well. I believe she's only lost 1 litter out of about 12, if I'm remembering correctly, but I'm sure someone out there will correct me if I have misspoken. Which we love, so put up maybe a little gift there on Twitter for any of our new viewers, and they can have a look-see there. And I know that we call Tingana, one of our resident territorial males, the Duke, and so I believe the prince came from that, as well as I think we used to call Karula the Queen. So if I can't answer this correctly, hopefully Scotty D can, and then if Scotty D also can't help me out, then I'm sure there's 1 or 2 of you that can maybe do that for us. Bushmum, you're saying that Karula was the queen, as I was hazarding a guess there, and then all the kids became the royal offspring. There we go. So my guess wasn't too far off. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Bushmum, for sending that through. I very much appreciate that. I sometimes sit here. So I've been guiding for over a decade now, and sometimes when I'm sitting here with a leopard like this, I ponder how much, like, he obviously knows us, he knows our smells, he knows our sights, he can see every single guest that's here, he can see every single tracker, he can see myself and Davi on the vehicle, and species like Hosana here can definitely tell the difference between all of our voices. But I do wonder sometimes, what do they think? Like, when I look at a giraffe, I think that they're going, okay, pose for the safari paparazzi, quick. Now turn your head, quick. Okay, now bat your eyelashes, quick. Quickly do it. They'll take their photos and then leave. And then if I was inside Hosana's head, I mean, I can only just imagine, because I'm sitting here and talking quietly, and then the vehicle next to us has their guests and they're chatting quietly, and then the vehicle behind me, the same thing. So no one's being overt or loud, and he's not upset or despondent in any way. He's very comfortable, but I do wonder what's going on inside that brain. Vivek, good question. You're curious to know at what age will he start to mate? So Hosana is 2 years old. So usually they start mating when they become territorial. Now this has been an ongoing back and forth discussion as to when he will become territorial, because he was thrown into independence long before he should have been because of the passing on of his mother, unfortunately. And he's managed to survive up to this point, which is absolutely incredible. So my sneaky suspicion is that he's busy trying to take over parts of Tingana's territory, which would include here and where we were looking at Tundi earlier. And I'm going to hazard a guess from my side that he will probably take over a chunk of that by the time he's 4, so in the next 2 years. Also wouldn't surprise me if you start seeing him scent mark within the next year to year and a half, which would actually be early, but he seems to be doing everything a little bit earlier just because he's had to. Now, let's say for some reason he had been brought up fully with his mom, he only would have left his mother sort of now around 2 years old. And then he would have stayed around in her territory on and off, and then slowly moving out and slowly testing the waters and slowly seeing what was happening. And if there was a gap in the next sort of 4 years or so between the ages of sort of 4 to 6, he would have taken that gap, say, here, or he would have moved on completely and found another gap somewhere else. And usually they wait till they're bigger and stronger. He's not fully grown yet. He's a nice sized male. He's going to be an even bigger male, but he's not much bigger than Tundi. So for him to compete with someone like Tingana, he needs to be about twice his size. Sorry guys, I'm drinking a lot of water in between our little talking segments. It's very warm. I'm almost through 1.5 liters in the past 2 hours. That's how hot it is out here today. It's very important to hydrate. It's good for your skin. Also good for your body functions. Now, something that's interesting about little Hosana here is a lot of the moisture that he needs. He does drink water, but he doesn't necessarily have to. He gets a lot of the moisture he needs from the animals that he eats, and also by conserving a lot of his energy by laying in the cool shade during the heat of the day and moving when it's cooler. And you'll notice when we saw him moving earlier, he was moving from shady spots to shady spots, and that helps conserve energy as well. Now we've got a pied crow that's flying in on top of this dead tree, and its mate just up in here. And now one of the other properties I used to work at, sometimes we found leopards. So there's 3 pied crows. Sometimes we found leopards by watching these pied crows dive bomb where the leopards were walking, just out of interest's sake. Now Steve is out walking about, and I also hope he's hydrating himself. So let's see what he has to say while we see what Hosana wants to do after his little cat nap.